Okay, so we're going to get into Chapter 8 where we are going to use some truth values and conditional statements. Conditional statements are really important because they are, like we talked about last video with making static and dynamic code, if statements are a way to make much more dynamic code because if statements can make decisions. Like if this is true, then we're going to do this, otherwise we're going to do something else. And it allows for what's down here, branching in our code where it's going to maybe go in one direction or the other. Our code's going to run in one direction or the other based on what the user says, or based on some calculations, or based on random numbers. We can do a lot of different things with this, but it's where our code gets to be a lot more sophisticated. So let's look at how an if statement works. And I'm just going to go right into my replit here, and I'm going to run an if statement. So an if statement works well. We just type an if, we put in some open and close parentheses, and then we're going to include a bracket here. So that's the general function for this if statement. In our if statement, we're going to put in what thing we want to compare. It should, whatever comparison we're making, should result in either true or false. So for example, really simple would be like 3 greater than 2. If 3 is greater than 2, and then system out print line, yay, yeah, or I don't know what that is. I'm going to hit it. So now when we run this, you know, it runs in here, it says if 3 is greater than 2, then print this out. Yeah, it prints it out, great. So it evaluates whatever's in here, and then it's going to run the code that is in between these two brackets. We can also do more than one command. We could do like a bunch of different commands. You did it! Run this. 3 is greater than 2. You did it, yeah, great. So, and yeah, so obviously the super simple one, this is always going to be true. We can change this and put the other way around. Is 3 less than 2? And let's run our code. And basically nothing happens because 3 is always going to be less than 2, so this is never going to get run, and it's just going to skip down past this. Some ways we could make this a little bit better, we could add, and you see this is giving me kind of, it's not an error, but it's giving me like some hints, some notes, because it's calling it dead code, which is a little rough, but it's because it's never going to get access, because 3 is always less than 2, so there's really no point in having this code. We could do something like, so that's, if it's true, it's going to do that. Otherwise, it's going to skip down. And we can also add in an else statement here. So the else statement connects to the if statement. And it's basically like, if this command is true, we're going to do whatever in the if statement. Otherwise, we'll do whatever's down here. So else, we'll say like system print. I don't know if this one has a quick way of doing that. Else statement. So 3 is greater than 3 is less than 2. Am I missing something? This is always a little bonus there. Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about else, if, and all those things. Let's see. Yeah, but if we run this, this isn't true, so we're going to hit the else, and we do the else statement. If I change this, run, and this part will never get run, it'll just do this, and then it'll skip down to the end. So we're making a choice between what to do here, either the first thing or the second thing. Okay, that's enough about the actual like coding of this. A couple things as far as the syntax of like how you write this. There's things you have to have in here, like these brackets, but there's also more like formatting things, like a way to organize your code. Whenever you run an if statement, whatever is underneath there should be indented in to show that it goes with if, like that this code runs with this, and this code runs with the else. It's a way to organize your code, so just for yourself to look back through. It's a way for others to look at your work and be able to read it. It's really clear, like later on, also if you make a mistake, it's really clear, like this open bracket and this close bracket, like the close bracket should be in line with your if statement. So that way, if you have too many brackets or too many parentheses like I just had, it's an easy way to go back and fix your mistakes.